We've inherited a real mess, and we've decided to take tough decisions to deal with it, to take it head on, that £22 billion black hole in the economy. I wasn't prepared to pretend that it wasn't there, to walk past it, to make it feel good. So we took the tough decisions, and that is tough. But we did it early, and I think anybody watching who's run a business, run an organisation will know, or even decorated their house. If there's a tough job to do, you know it's got to be done. You're better off getting on and doing it, because things will be better on once you've done it.
Can you say...
Keir Starmer's recent apology to the UK was supposed to be the beginning of a new era for the Labour Party. However, instead they only raised more questions than answers. After months of criticism, Starmer admitted that the party had made mistakes. But then something shocking happened. On the same day, he mocked 3 million signatures on a petition demanding a general election. Yes, there are 3 million citizens who feel that they are not being heard. And Starmer's reaction? A dismissive laugh. It seems that this apology was more an attempt to save face than a sincere recognition of the growing discontent of society. The Labour Party, of course, has rebranded and promised change, but can anyone really believe in these promises now?
In the clearest possible terms, whether from here on in to the end of your term, there will be any tax rises, and I'm talking about to business, to national insurance, or to people's tax. Will there be any?
So we took really tough decisions in the budget, and we did them early. And we stabilised the economy, and that was tough. And I don't want to in any way suggest that we're going to keep coming back for more, because that isn't the plan. That
so
isn't the
no more tax rises.
So we did the tough stuff in order to stabilise, because what individuals and particularly businesses have said to me is, look, do the tough stuff, but then we need the degree of certainty. We need to know that things aren't going to materially change. So that's the approach we've taken.
The key question is whether there will be real change after these public apologies, or is this just another attempt to distract attention, hoping that voters will forget about how unfulfilled the last promises were? In this situation, only one important question remains. Does Keir Starmer understand how disappointed people are? Isabel Oakeshott is not afraid to criticise Keir Starmer, and does it. She is known for her directness and has repeatedly questioned his leadership, highlighting the discrepancy between his words and actions.
What I can't do is say to you, there are no circumstances unforeseen in the future that wouldn't lead to any change at all, because if you just look at COVID and the Ukraine situation, everybody knows there are things that we can't see now. But I can tell you our intention was to do the tough stuff in that budget and not to keep coming back, to stabilise so businesses could know, well, look, it's tough but fair, but at least we know now with certainty and we can plan. That's the mindset that we brought to the budget.
She doesn't just make unsubstantiated claims. Her criticism is based on concrete facts. Whether it's about Labour's inability to deal with pressing issues or Starmer's unfulfilled campaign promises, Oakeshott is always ready to provide a clear answer. Her role in politics is that she demands responsibility, not allowing the authorities to evade the truth. Unlike many others, she speaks boldly about real problems, even if it causes embarrassment, which makes her especially noticeable against the background of others. For Starmer, Oakeshott is a reminder that society is aware of his weaknesses as a leader. The main question now is, will Starmer continue to ignore her and the millions of citizens who share her point of view, or will he finally pay attention to them and begin to take their opinions into account?
I'm really intrigued as to what Keir Starmer is going to come up with. I mean, he clearly senses, unusually, he's got his finger on the pulse in sensing that the nation is absolutely mutinous over these latest immigration figures, because they truly are astonishing. I think there was a general expectation at Westminster that figures would be quite significantly lower than what was published today. And not only are those figures astonishing in and of themselves, but we've also got the ONS, the Office for National Statistics, admitting that they got their figures wrong to the tune of over 200,000, which begs the question of how are we supposed to trust any of these figures that are coming out?
When Tahir Ali, a Labour MP, spoke out against the creation of discord and hatred caused by irresponsible acts, his words resonated in the hearts of people. He called for immediate action, warning that unruly political behavior could lead to a serious split in society. His position was clear. Using power to foment conflict carries huge risks. However, this opinion did not suit Isabel Oakeshott, who rejected it, arguing that religion should not interfere in political affairs. She believes that political leaders should remain neutral and focus on unifying initiatives rather than those that can divide society. Oakeshott emphasized that manipulating sensitive topics such as faith for political gain can be extremely dangerous.
It isn't because the man is stupid, it's because, and this is a theme I keep returning to, he lacks judgment. And that is so important for somebody at the top of politics. If you don't have the right judgment, you're not going to last long. So you ask the question, how does he get this off the front pages? Here's what I'm going to say about that. This is not going to go away until he reveals his secret.
Yes.
Now, I don't know exactly what his secret is, but he sure as hell has got one or more secrets, and they relate in some way to Lord Ali and to his family. Now, I don't know how those two things overlap, but there is a secret there. There are papers all over this. They are waiting for their moment. There are people other than newspaper journalists over this too. Lord Ashcroft has already indicated that he is writing an update to his biography of Sir Keir Starmer.
The situation is heating up, and every new day brings with it waves of anxiety and discontent. Citizens feel the weight of unresolved problems hanging over their heads, and political debates become only an echo of inaction. They demand confidence and clarity, and they want to see that their leaders are ready to take responsibility for the future of the country. When Oakeshott talks about the need for concrete steps, it resonates in the hearts of many who are tired of uncertainty. The demand for courage and determination is growing, but instead they face uncertainty and fluctuations. How long can you ignore the worries of the people, hoping that they will subside on their own? There can be no progress without a clear plan of action, without bold decisions that can unite, not separate. The Labour Party is at a crossroads where it is important to choose the only path leading to the restoration of trust and respect from voters.
And having worked for Lord Ashcroft on biographies, I can tell you it's no secret that he is not afraid to put things out there in the public domain that he believes to be in the public interest. So I would take that tweet by Lord Ashcroft as a very big shot across the bows. So if Sir Keir Starmer has something to hide, and I'm afraid I believe that he does, then it's sure as hell time to get it out there now, get ahead of the story. And if he has nothing to hide, which is still possible, he should nonetheless front up the rumours, and he should hold a press conference, and he should just say, look, I realise that all of this has created a perception that there's something else going on here. And I also realise that people are wildly speculating about my private life.
It is important to note that Oakeshott is not afraid to express his opinion openly. She argues that Starmer's actions to solve the migration problem are clearly insufficient. Oakeshott stresses that Labour's lack of a clear and coherent strategy on immigration can have serious negative consequences. There is growing disillusionment in society, especially in those regions that have been most vulnerable due to increased immigration. People demand real action, not empty promises. So the question arises, what is Starmer's plan? Is he waiting for the situation to resolve itself? Or is he finally ready to take a firm and consistent position? Ensuring immigration control requires an integrated approach and a willingness to engage in dialogue with the public. Without a clear direction and clear steps, the problem will only get worse, and this will become a difficult test for the country's future leaders.
How could he have left that off? You know, it is so astonishingly stupid that you begin to think, is there something else at work here? Is someone actually plotting to make this party, this leadership, this particular prime minister fail? How can they have left that off? Because talk to anybody, and I know probably I'm in a bit of an echo chamber. A lot of people that I talk to are very, very passionate about what's happening to our country as a result of the loss of control of our borders. But I think that many Labour voters and many who, aren't sure who to vote feel really strongly about this. So why isn't it at the heart of his agenda? I find that utterly bewildering. And you know what? Every time that he makes a basic mistake like this, those on the other side, those in the opposition parties, and literally privately...
People who previously supported Keir Starmer are now cautiously whispering about his intentions. They feel that every promise is just a smokescreen hiding their true intentions. Wondering if Starmer will be able to restore lost trust, voters are faced with a difficult choice. Every new step, every new promise will be subjected to rigorous analysis. The public craves transparency, sincerity, and, importantly, real action. They want to see how words are transformed into deeds and not remain just fleeting phrases. Will he finally be able to become not just a talking head, but also a leader whom the people can trust? Or will his career path be locked in a cycle of distrust and skepticism? He faces a critical choice: to demonstrate his true identity or become another victim of political games. Time will tell how sincere Starmer really is. What's your thoughts on this video? See